The Palestinian Targum. On the Book of Numbers. Section of the Torah 34. BEMIDBAR. And the Lord spake with Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of ordinance, on the first of the month Ijar, which was the second month of the second year from the time of the coming forth from the land of Mizraim, saying, Take the account of the whole congregation of the Beni Israel, according to the families of the father's house, by the number of the names of all the males by the capitations. From each son 20 years and upwards, every one going out in the host in Israel, thou and Aaron number them by the hosts. And let there be with you a man of each tribe, a chief of his father's house. And these are the names of the men who shall stand with you. Of Reuben, Elazar bar Shejah. Of Shimeon, the leader, 1. Shelumiel bar Zurishaddai. The prince of Jehudah, Nashon bar Aminadab. The prince of Issachar, Nathaniel bar Zuah. The prince of Zebulun, Eliab bar Shalon. The prince of the Beni Joseph, of Ephraim, Elishama bar Amihud. The prince of Menashe, Gamliel bar Pedazur. The prince of Benjamin, Abidan bar Gideoni. The prince of Dan, Achizah bar Ammishaddai. The prince of Asher, Pagiel bar Akron. The prince of Gad, Eljasaph bar Dehuel. The prince of Naphtali, Achira bar Enan. These were the notables of the congregation of the people, chiefs of the fathers' tribes, heads of thousands in Israel. These. And Moshe and Aaron took these men who are expressed by the names. And they assembled all the congregation on the first day of the month Ijar, which is the second month, and recensed them by the families of the father's house, by the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by the capitations. As the Lord commanded Moshe, they numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. And the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, by the families of the generations of the father's house, in the number of the names by the poles, every male from 20 years old and upward, all going forth in the host, the sum of the tribe of Reuben, 46,500. Jerusalem. The sum of the families of the Beni Shimeon, after the generations of the father's house, in the number of the names by the poles, every male from 20 years and upward, every one going forth in the host, the sum of the tribe of Shimeon, 59,300. Of the family of the Beni Gad, after the generation of the father's house, in the number of the names by the poles, every male from 20 years and upward, 45,650. The sum of the tribe of Jehudah, 74,600. 2. Of Issachar, 54,400. Of Zebulun, 57,400. Of Ephraim, 40,500. Of Menashe, 32,200. Benjamin, 35,400. Dan, 62,700. Asher, 41,500. Naphtali, 53,400. These are the sums of the numbered ones which Moshe and Aaron, and the princes of Israel, 12 men, a man for each house of the fathers, did number. And all the sums of the numbered of the Beni Israel were 603,550. But the Levites after the father's tribe were not numbered among them. For the Lord had spoken with Moshe, saying, Nevertheless, the tribe of Levi thou shalt not number, nor take their sum among the children of Israel. But thou shalt appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of the testimony, and over all its vessels, and whatever things pertain unto it. They shall carry the tabernacle and all its vessels, and do service in it, and round about the tabernacle shall they dwell. And when the tabernacle is to go forward, the Levites shall take it apart, and when the tabernacle is to be stationary, the Levites are to uprear it. The common person who draweth near will be slain by flaming fire from before the Lord. And the sons of Israel shall encamp every one by the place of his own company, every one under his standard according to the hosts. But the Levites shall encamp round about the tabernacle of the testimony, that there may not be wrath upon the congregation of the children of Israel. And the Levites shall keep charge of the tabernacle of testimony. And the sons of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moshe, so did they. 2. And the Lord spake with Moshe and with Aaron, saying, Every man of the Beni Israel shall encamp by his standard, by the ensign which is signified upon the standards of the father's house over against the tabernacle of ordinance shall they encamp round about. The length of the camp of Israel shall be 12 miles, and its breadth 12 miles. And they who encamp eastward to the sunrise shall be of the standard of the camp of Jehudah by the hosts spreading over 4 miles. And his standard shall be of silk, of 3 colors, corresponding with those of the precious stones which are in the breastplate, sardius, topaz, and carbuncle, and upon it shall be expressed and set forth the names of the 3 tribes of Jehudah, Issachar, and Zebulun, and in the midst shall be written, Arise, O Lord, and let thine enemies be scattered, and thine adversaries be driven away before thee, and upon it shall be set forth the figure of a young lion. And the rabber of the Beni Jehudah shall be Nashon bar Aminadab. And the sum of the host of that tribe was 74,600. And they who encamp next by him shall be the tribe of Issachar, and the rabber appointed over the host of the Beni Issachar, Nathaniel bar Zuah. And the sum of the host of the tribe 54,400. The tribe of Zebulun, the rabber Eliab bar Shalom, the number 57,400. All the numbered ones of the camp of Jehudah 186,400. By the hosts they shall go forward in front. By the standard of the camp of Reuben they shall encamp southward by the hosts spreading over 4 miles. And his standard shall be of silk, of 3 colors, corresponding with those of the precious stones that are in the breastplate, as morad, sapphire, and adamant. On it shall be expressed and set forth the names of the 3 tribes of Reuben, Shimeon, Gad, and in the midst of it be written, Hear Israel, the Lord our God is one, and upon it shall be set forth the figure of a stag. Some would have thought there should have been upon it the figure of a young ox, but Moshe the prophet altered it, that the sin of the calf might not be remembered against them. And the rabber set over the host of the tribe Reuben was Elizur bar Shejah. And his host and the numbered of his tribe were 59,300. The tribe of Gad. The rabber set over the host of the tribe of the Beni Gad was Eljasaph bar Dehuel. And his host and the number of his tribe 45,600. All the sum of the numbered ones of the camp of Reuben 151,450 by the hosts, and they went forward secondly. But the tabernacle shall go with the host of the Levites in the midst of the host, and the camp spreadeth over 4 miles, in the midst are they to be. As they encamp, so shall they go, every man going in his appointed place, by their standard. The camp of Ephraim by the standard of the host shall pitch on the west, their camp spreadeth over 4 miles, and the standard is of silk of 3 colors, corresponding with the precious stones in the breastplate, ligure, agate, and amethyst, and upon it expressed and set forth the names of the 3 tribes. Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin, having written in the midst, and the cloud of the Lord was over them in the going forward of the host, and upon it was set forth the figure of a young man. And the rabber set over the tribe of Ephraim Elishama bar Ammihud, and the sum of his host 40,500. And next to him were the tribe of Manasseh. The rabber Gamliel bar Pedashur, the number 32,200. Of the tribe of Benjamin the rabber was Abidan bar Gideoni, and the number of his host 35,400. The sum of the camp of Ephraim was 108,100, and they went forward thirdly. The standard of the camp of Dan shall be to the north with the hosts, and the space of the camp shall spread over 4 miles. His standard shall be of silk of 3 colors, corresponding with the stones in the breastplate, chrysolite, beryl, and jasper. In it shall be expressed and set forth the names of the 3 tribes, Dan, Naphtali, and Asher, and upon it shall be expressed. And in his encampment shall he say, Return, O Lord, and dwell in thy glory in the midst of the myriads of Israel, and upon it shall also be set forth the figure of a basilisk serpent. Gen. XLIX. 17. The rabber set over the hosts of Dan was Achizah bar Aminashadai, and the number of his tribe 62,700. They who encamp next to him shall be the tribe of Asher. The rabbi was Pagiel bar Akron, and the numbers 41,500. Of the tribe Naphtali, the Rebbe, Achira bar Enan, and the numbers, 53,400. The sum of the hosts of Dan was 157,600. And these went forward last with their ensigns. This is the amount of the numbers of the Beni Israel, according to the house of the fathers. All the sums of the camps by the hosts were 603,550. But the Levites were not numbered among the sons of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And the sons of Israel did according to all that the Lord commanded Moshe, so did they encamp by the standards, and so went they forward, every man with his family by the house of his fathers. 3. These are the generations of Aharon and Moshe, who were genealogized in the day that the Lord spake with Moshe in the mountain of Sinai. And these are the names of the Beni Aharon the priests, the disciples of Moses, the Rabbi of Israel, and they were called by his name in the day that they were anointed to minister in offering their oblations. But Nadab and Abihu died by the flaming fire at the time of their offering the strange fire from their own tents, and they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered before Aharon the father. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near, and appoint them before Aharon the priest to minister with him, or to do him service winking face. And let them be divided into 24 parties, and they shall keep his charge, and the charge of all the congregation before the tabernacle of ordinance, to perform the work of the tabernacle, and they shall have charge of all the vessels of the tabernacle of ordinance, and the charge of the sons of Israel to do the service of the tabernacle. And I have given the Levites unto Aharon and his sons, a gift they given and delivered to him from among the sons of Israel, and number thou Aharon and his soils, that they may keep the priesthood, and the stranger who cometh near shall be slain by the flame from before the Lord. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, And I, behold, I have brought nigh the Levites from among the sons of Israel, instead of all the firstborn who opened the womb among the sons of Israel, and the Levites shall minister before me. For every firstborn among the sons of Israel is mine, for the day when I slew every firstborn in the land of Mizraim, I have sanctified before me every firstborn in Israel, from man to animal, they are mine. I am the Lord. And the Lord spake with Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the sons of Levi according to the house of the fathers and the families, every male from a month old and upward shalt thou number them. Moses therefore numbered them according to the mouth of the word of the Lord, as he had been commanded. And these were the sons of Levi by the names, Gershon, Kehath, and Merari. And these are the names of the Beni Gershon according to the families, Libni and Shimei. And the Beni Kehath by the families, Amram, Jizah, Hebron, and Uzziel. And the Beni Merari by the families, Machli, and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites after the house of the fathers. Of Gershon, the family of Libni, and the family of Shimei, these are the families of Gershon. The sum of them, by the numbers of all the males from a month old and upward, 7,500. The two families who spring from Gershon shall encamp after the tabernacle westward, and the Rebbe of the house of the fathers set over the two families shall be Eljasaph bar Leel. And the charge of the Beni Gershon in the tabernacle of ordinance shall be the tent, and the covering that overspreadeth, and the hanging of the door of the tabernacle of ordinance, and the curtains of the court, and the hanging which is at the gate of the court by the tabernacle, and the altar round about, and the cords of it, for all the service thereof. Of Kehath was the family of Amram, and the family of Isbar, and of Hebron, and Uzziel. These are the families of Kehath, the numbers 8,600, keeping the charge of the sanctuary. The four families that spring from Kehath shall encamp by the south side of the tabernacle. The Rab shall be Elizaphan bar Uzziel. And the charge, the ark, the table, the candelabrum, the altars, the vessels of the sanctuary wherewith they minister, and the veil, and that which pertaineth to its service. And the Amarkol set over the chiefs of the Levites shall be Eleazar bar Aharon the priest, who inquireth by Uriah and Thummah, and under his hand shall they be appointed who keep the charge of the sanctuary. Of Merari, the families of Machli and Mushi, the number 6,200, and the Rabzerul bar Abichael. They shall encamp by the tabernacle northward, and the delivered to the charge shall be the boards of the tabernacle, its bars, pillars, and sockets, and all that pertains to the service thereof. The pillars of the court also round about the sockets, pins, and cords. But they who encamp before the tabernacle of ordinance eastward shall be Moshe and Aharon, and his sons, keeping charge of the sanctuary and of Israel, and the stranger who draweth near shall be slain by flaming fire from before the Lord. The sum of the Levites whom Moshe and Aharon numbered by the mouth of the word of the Lord was 22,000. And the Lord said unto Moshe, Number all the firstborn males among the sons of Israel, from a month old and upward, and take the number of the names, and bring near the Levites before me. I am the Lord, instead of all the firstborn among the sons of Israel, and all the cattle of the Levites instead of all the firstling cattle of the children of Israel. And Moshe numbered, as the Lord commanded him, all the firstborn of the sons of Israel. The sum of the number was 22,273. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Bring near the Levites instead of every firstborn among Israel, and the cattle of the Levites instead of the cattle, that the Levites may minister before me. I am the Lord. And for the redemption of the 273 of the firstborn of the Beni Israel, who are more than the number of the Levites, thou shalt take of each 5 shekels by pearl. In the shekel of the sanctuary shalt thou take 20 mapham to the shekel. And thou shalt give the shekel unto Aharon, and to his sons, as the redemption of them who are more than they. Arad Moshe took the redemption money of them who were above those who were released by the Levites, 1,365 shekels. And Moshe gave the redemption silver to Aharon, and to his sons, according to the mouth of the word of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moshe. IV. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Take the account of the sons of Kohath from among the Beni Levi, from 30 years and upwards to 50 years, every one who cometh by the band to do the work in the tabernacle of ordinance. This is the service of the Beni Kohath in the tabernacle of ordinance with the most holy things. But whenever the camp is to be removed, Aharon and his sons shall enter, and unloose the veil that is spread, and cover up the ark of the testimony, and put over it the covering of hyacinth skin, and overspread it with a wrapper of twined work, and inset its staves. And over the table of the presence bread they shall spread a wrapper of purple, and set upon it the vials, and the spoons, and the vases, Jerusalem, vials, and the libation cups, but the bread shall be upon it evermore. And they shall spread upon it a wrapper of scarlet, and cover it with a covering of hyacinth skin, and inset its staves. And they shall take a purple wrapper, and cover the candelabrum that lighteth, and its lamps, its stongs, its snuff dishes, and all the vessels of service by which they attend it, Jerusalem, snuffers. And they shall put it and all its vessels in a covering of hyacinth skin, and place it upon a rest, Jerusalem, upon a beam. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a purple vest, and cover it with a covering of hyacinth skin, and inset its staves. And they shall take all the vessels of the service with which they minister in the sanctuary, and wrap them in a covering of hyacinth skins, and place it upon a beam. And they shall remove the cinders from the altar, and overspread it with a covering of crimson, Jerusalem. And they shall take away from the altar, and put upon it all its vessels with which it is served, the cinder holders, flesh hooks, prongs, and basins, even all the vessels of the altar, and spread upon it a covering of hyacinth skin, and inset its staves. And after Aharon and his sons have completed to cover the sanctuary, and all the vessels thereof, when the camp is to go forward, then the sons of Kohath may enter in to carry. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die by the flaming fire. This is the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of ordinance. And the delivered to Eleazar bar Aharon the priest shall be the oil for the light, the aromatic incense, the perpetual minkah, the oil of anointing, and the custody of all the tabernacle, and whatever is in it in the sanctuary, and its vessels. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Thou shalt not give occasion for the tribe of the family of Kehath to perish among the Levites. But this appointment make thou for them, that they may live the life of the just, and die not by the flaming fire. They shall turn away their eyes from the most holy place at the time they approach thither. Aaron and his sons shall enter, and appoint them man by man to his service and his burden. But they shall not go in to gaze when the priests go in to cover the vessels of the sanctuary, that they die not by the flaming fire. Jerusalem. And the Levites shall not go in to gaze when the priests cover the vessels of the holy house, lest they die.